As you can see, this burger. Now, when we go for a burger, one burger with everything, bread, butter, everything in one package. So that's what we need from a full stack developer. Now the organizations, the software companies, what they need is something, one person with all the skills, or one person with having all the knowledge of all the skills. He should know the front end development, back end development, graphics design, database design. So what we need a one package in the person. So that means we need to have the knowledge in all the fields. A web developer has a knowledge in the front design, back design, database, and the graphics design together. So now let's have one scenario. For example, let's say we are now let's say the software organizations. One question which says now we need to develop a retail system. We are going to develop a retail system for an organization which needs a user interface. Means where the user can add their products, delete their products, review the products, select the products. Then they need to have the back-end system using any of the language, maybe the C#, Java, Python. Then they will also have the database system where they will store the data. What the retail system, adding the products, viewing the products, all the product details. That means we need to hire a developer which has the knowledge of the front end, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, AngularJS. We need to hire a developer or a programmer which has the knowledge of the C# programming, Java, ASP, Python. We need to hire a database administrator which has the knowledge of the database or database programming. Now, let's say as a software company, are you going to hire the three different types of person, or what you prefer? One person with all the package, one person with the knowledge of the database, one person with the knowledge of the web developer, one person with the knowledge of the back-end development. What would you prefer if you are going to give him the salary from your pocket? You would prefer one person, you pay the salary for one, or pay the salary for three different persons? One. So the same, now the trend is changing, even the software companies, they want one. So let's say in my bachelor's, I studied SQL, now I'm done, I get a job. I finished my Java, I know Java, while I studied SQL, it's okay. No, I need to sharpen my skills in all. So if you are paying from your pocket, if you are hiring one person with all the skills, the same goes with the software companies. Why they need to hire three different types of staff and paying the unnecessary salary for three? Once the database administrator job is done, he's sitting quiet. If he has a knowledge in all the fields, he'll be working on other technologies. So that is about the full stack development. And now it's quite common, it's increasing throughout the world. So all the companies, they need a full stack developer and their salary is in rise. So if we compare the full stack developer salaries, it's growing. So what if the companies now they're looking for a full stack developer with all the knowledge? But maybe they are only working on SQL. Maybe they are only working on Java. They are only working on web design. But next project they might be working on other technology. So now just we end the session with one question. If you say how to choose between a DevOps engineer or a full stack developer, so which platform should we prefer? Being a DevOps engineer or being a full stack developer? So now if we have a multiple options, different choice. It's not like these are the only two options. These are the one of the two common options that is trending now. People demand for. So apart from that, we have different numerous options. These are the two which we talked about that is demanding where the future is going to increase more. So that is all about in short, the full stack development and the DevOps. Coming back to the questions, any questions or queries? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, for that wonderful presentation regarding the future of coding. I know we're running late, just two more presenters, then we close the seminar. A round of applause again to Mr. Samuel. All right, our next presenter is going to take us through a very interesting topic, the difference between hardware robots and software robots, the process of robotic automation. Let me invite Mr. Mayu to take us through the difference between hardware robots and software robots.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ronald, and thank you so much to the beautiful audience for being listening to us. And I know the time is there for the lunch, so I won't take much time. But which I'll be talking about will be very informative for you. Now, before I start about the robotic process automation, let me ask you something that either you're doing IT or you're doing the business administration, you are learning about the health sciences or any such courses here, and you have been hired by any of these companies in the market, and they give you a simple task to be done. The task is what? Your manager says, like, Charles, you come in the morning, collect all the data, maintain them in an Excel file, and get me a report by 5 o'clock on my desk, or send it to the mail. If you're doing about business administration, you are in the counseling or admission process, and this says you throughout the day, the people are coming for you to inquiring, fill out the forms, get an Excel file, and at 5 o'clock, bring my on the table. If you're learning the health sciences, and you go to the hospital and this says you're at the reception or you're getting the details of the patient for the whole day, and end of the day, give me this report by 5 o'clock. And it's not for the one day and throughout the month, the repeating task. You come office, get the data, prepare Excel file, 5 o'clock. Come to the hospital, get the data, prepare Excel file, get me the data by 5 o'clock. How do you feel about it? You think that, man, why I did this 3 years of study about this IT course or what this course or that course? For this kind of work or what? No, we are the human beings. So this kind of work can be done by a robot, not by a human being. So to reduce this repetitive task being done by the human is here. It's called the robotic process automation, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I hope you'll have a new learning today about it. Because as a human being, you are not there to do the repetitive task. So what are the different companies? What are the different tools? And also I say this to my student from administration and other courses, or even from your electrons and communication students. You don't need to do learn more about the coding. You just need to learn the tools to develop, and the product is here. So can we have a robot here? Let me talk about that. It's called about the robotic process automation. I'm Mayur Kumar. I'm lecturer here in the Department of ICT at Ispat University. And I'm thankful to Mr. Shami for again giving me this opportunity to talk to you all about. So, if you talk about the typical journey of this digital transformation or the digital operations, the first thing which comes here is all about the robotic process automation, and the 60% of the enterprise's process activities are being done actually. And most of the companies, the tools which you provide is actually by the Blue Prism actually. And then it comes to the next process of the cognitive RPA to provide the leverages between the robotic process automation and then to the AI and ML to develop the products actually. And here it comes the product as the chatbots. Now, as an IT guy, you don't need to collect the data. You create a chatbot for your company, a chatbot for your health sciences or to your hospital, get the details, collect the details and share it within 5 minutes of time. Why you need to do the whole day process of the repeating work again and again? Because as a human being, you'll get tired to do the task, but the robot will not get tired. Your accuracy on the first day, you'll be very happy. Oh, I got a job. Let me do this task for you. My manager is saying something to me. My director is saying something to me. But second day, 1 week, you'll do with a lot of enthusiasm. But the repetitive work, by the next week, you'll say, hey man, what this task is all about? I'm coming this day all day to collect the data, make file. So it can be processed by a robot. And that's why we're talking about the robotic process automation. And not only one or two companies, there are very many companies who look forward for the robotic process automation developer who can develop this kind of tools for them that can be useful actually. So that's the way you can find about it. So what about the robotic process automation then? So the RPA is the use of software where artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities to handle the high volume repeatable task. Take my word here, the repeatable task that previously required humans to perform. These tasks can be include the queries by the admission team or any of the queries like, do you have this course or that course? Why everyone has to come and ask again and again? We create a chatbot for them. They ask their queries. It is being handled by the system. Yes, that's what we're talking about. About the calculations. Those are from business administration. Those are from finance department. Why you need to talk about the whole day the calculations? It can be processed automatically. And maintenance of the records and the transaction. So when I talk to you this word called the robotics, and what comes to your mind? There must be a robot sitting on a computer? No, this is not about the physical robot. I'm talking here about the robotic process automation through a software. A robot as a software tool, not as a hardware tool. So when it comes to the robotics, people say there must be a physical mechanism of the robot sitting on a computer doing tasks. Is it about RPA to replace the human being? No, it's not about the RPA to replace the human being. The RPA is all about to create the software tool. It's not on hardware. To create a software tool which can reduce the repetitive work which is being done by the human. Is it like the robotic is replacing the human being? No, it's not about the replacing of the human being, because this robot or the software tool is being designed by the human only, not by the robot. So this has been designed by a human to reduce its repetitive task, not to replace the human with the robots actually. So some people get confused, like this is a misconception that I'm creating or I'm developing a robot who's sitting on place of me at the system. No, we have created a software robot, a tool which is going to reduce the performance, which can increase the performance and which can reduce the repetitive task. So that's where the robotic process automation comes. So the key objective of implementing RAR, the cost saving. Now, to hire, I'm not in your opposition, like, sir, you are replacing me with a job, so where are you getting hired, or what have to be done? We as a human can do much more better the intelligence work than to do the repetitive task action. So it's all about the cost saving. It's about improve the customer experience. Also to improve the accuracy. Because I said 1 week of time you can do your task in a very fruitful way. But the next week you'll feel tired. You'll say, I'm going for the same thing again and again. I have to perform the same task again and again. It's not required. That's where we use the robot, which will maintain the accuracy and which can work even by 24/7. That is a robotic process automation. So again, if you look at the quality benefits, so since I've already talked about quality benefits, but still you can take a look at what kind of benefits are there in the ways of to improve the accuracy, consistency in the work, audit trail, mostly for the those from business and finance accounting, productivity can be improved, elasticity and the flexibility to work on, the timings by 24/7, staff retention, right shoring of the people who can do this kind of work. So this is some advantage or the qualitative benefits of the robotic process automation. So even though you look at the finance part, yes, definitely to perform a person on onshore require a lot of dollars to perform the task in starting. At the same time, nearshore, offshore, and then lastly by the robotic process automation. So robot is not going to hire or it's not going to charge much from you. Once that has been developed, once a chatbot has been developed for a hospital, it's done. You need to do it again and again to do the same task for the person. So obviously it is going to be the cost retention. A lot of price, a lot of cost can be saved using the RPA technology. So again, if I look at about the key sectors, where it's going to be, is it to say, sir, I'm from IT, is it only for me? Or I'm from BBA, I'm doing MBA, is it for me? No, it's for very many fields where the RPA is implemented, and I hope many of you have seen also this kind of queries to be resolved using the robotic process. Even though you take a look at SBAT also, when you look at for the filling the admission form, there are a lot of options, or you can say there is a single form software tool has been created, a kind of chatbot. Wherever you need some information, it can be provided. You don't need to go manually, go ask and to perform the task. Because for the person who's collecting the data, it's very hectic for him to maintain that many data sets. So it's about the customer, to talk about the phones and all the facilities, about the manufacturing, logistics, because every day we talk about a lot of queries to be coming, like even for the bank office, finance, even for HR, even for IT domains. So there are very many key concerns areas where the RPA can be deployed and it can minimize your cost working and also improve the flexibility, also the performance of the organization. So if you look at again in the ways of healthcare, you can talk about the patient registration. So no need to go manually filling the patients and going doing this and that again to write on a form, collect the data. What will happen? Most of the time, when people write the names and all, they won't write in the correct order. Secondly, spelling mistake. So what can be done using the RP tools? By billing, by providing the details for the validation. In the ways of software testing, it can be used in the ways of invoice validation, nominal verification about the software tools. In the ways of HR, now the HR, what's the task? Most of the people think that there is no task for the HR. No, there is a lot of tasks being done by HR except making the Rangoli section. So what I can find out about the HR, collect the data every day. When we see there is a position at his back, what is going to be happen? If I provide just my email link, what is going to be happen? If I say my email address is something called HR@isback or something, my email address, what is going to be happen? If I came to know there is a vacancy in IT department, in a single day of time, lot of people are sending me the CVs to the attachment. Now, do I have as an HR for the organization? Actually, I need to do that. But do I have that much of time to go through with all the CVs and check their credentials and then ask them to come for an interview? How long and how active work is that? And for this as an HR, this is the work for the year. People keep on sending mails, or I'm interested to work for this, I'm interested for management, I'm willing to work for health sciences, I'm willing to apply for your IT department, admission team, administration. There are different positions to work. But as an HR, RPA tools can be created where he can get the details by filling by the person, he can just shortlist as per his requirement, and few people can be called for the interviews. So, lot of repetitive tasks by the HR can be reduced by the robotic process automation. Not even for HR. How about your financial services? Mostly from the management and accounting sprints? Yes. So it's about the credit card enrollment, getting the details, creating a files, just saving the database. Why to ask every individual to fill in the form, getting details, and to perform this repetitive task? In the ways of any reconciliations, disputes handling, it can be maintained that which day this thing was issued, what was the issue, can be maintained by the concerned department. Not even by the IT services alone, even for the government also is there. How? Like a lot of people apply to change the address. A lot of people apply for maybe the license renewal. I don't know how many of you is there. But the last week we had is called Indo-African Business Summit. It was there somewhere in Bunyala Resorts, where from the Ministry of Business and to develop, to Ministry of Investments and all, the people were there. The director was there, and this says we have developed a one-stop point for the people who want to do the business in Uganda. One-stop point. No need to go to multiple office and say I need to get a approval from him or her or which office I have to go. It's not about the repeated task. If he says I have to get some connections in my address or something, how many offices I need to visit? So they have created a one-stop point. That is an example of RPA, where you just go within a single day of time, you get all the approvals. So everything is fine from your end. So that's the way how we can minimize the repetitive tasks being done by the humans through the simulation tool. So again, the same way, we have very many advantage or applications of RPA, the form of like finance and administrations, IT services, HR services, even supply chain and all. Even though I won't read it much, but you can see in the base of again to your finance and accounting. Yes, there are very going to be very many applications to be performed so that the repetitive task can be reduced by an audit trial or from a finance officer or maybe an admin department. So let me take a case study for in the form of it's called your patient payment automation now. Now what is going to be happening? The customer was facing challenges in calculating the outstanding patient co-payment due to what is the issue was reconciliation of patient reports and bills from various clinical and non-clinical systems and consolidate all payments related encounters via diagnostic tests, surgeries, procedures, and all. Not many bills were there. How to reconcile them and to get how much due is for them? Is it going to check all the time the payments? No. You go to the system. It's going to be have improved patient system for the payments, settlement, process through the process automation and transformation actually. Right? Are you getting the point? So as I said, it's going to be have automated outstanding payment notification posed to the users via email. Just you get your email or through your text message on your handheld device, which is your mobile actually, that this is for this much payment, this is for that much payment. Now this is an outstanding balance and just pay for it. How it looks very nice. That is all about your robotic process automation. Instead of creating multiple things by repeated tasks by the human, it can be resolved by a robot, which is not on hardware, which is a simulation or a software tool. So thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. I hope you had an understanding where the RPA comes, and I suggest other my students are from IT or business or wherever you go, try to find your RPA tool over there so that it can minimize your repetitive tasks and you can use your intelligence to develop your business or your organization. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
All right, just a quick one. I'm just replacing Mr. Ronald just to wind up the program. So let's put our hands together to appreciate Mr. Mario. That was such a wonderful presentation. So what Mr. Mario was taking us through was how to leverage machine learning algorithms to be able to achieve artificial intelligence. So thank you so much, Mr. Mario. So our last speaker today, we are inviting Mr. Nasa now to take us through the future of machine learning and also artificial intelligence. Mr. Nasa, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dean. A very good afternoon, members. I appreciate your presence here, and I recognize the presence of the Dean of ICT, the Dean of Business, and my colleagues, lecturers, and fellow students. So, members, as the last person to summarize and wind up today's presentation, yes, I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning. And I'm very sure most of you are tired, and my presentation is a little bit big, but I'm going to summarize. I'm going to make it a little bit short because of the time, because there's a lot to be discussed. Of course, it is connecting to various fields that have been discussed by most of the presenters. But let me try to be a little bit quick, and I try to make a scan through, but at least to have at least a picture of what we need to understand from what we need to have as far as AI and machine learning is concerned. So just a quick run through. I'll begin by, of course, letting you know that as far as computing is concerned, it started days ago, whereby machines and we started using machines in our businesses, our daily activities. Of course, it started mechanically by just doing things in a mechanical way. And of course, the way human being likes very much being soft life. You want to simplify whatever you have around you. Of course, you always research and look at how you perform your activities to make sure that at least you're able to simplify and happen to have the two terms that we normally have in our activities. There's what we call quality and quantity. I hope you recognize this. Quality and what? Quantity. But as we're striving to have quality and quantity, there's what we call efficiency. I hope you're recognizing that in whatever that has been discussed by the members. Efficiency. How efficient is a method being applied. And of course, if you look at this big audience that we have around here, most of you are here, of course, to bring the other contribution to what has been done by our grandfathers and others and people are still contributing to the same research, of course, to efficiently make productions. And of course, it brings us to what we call machines. So, to move on, with artificial intelligence, members, a human being brought in a machine to do processing, to simplify his work, basically. And what does it mean? A machine is designed based on him. Have you members? A machine is designed based on a human being. Because the work being done is supposed to be carried out by a human being. But he's saying, because of the characters a human being has, there's some inefficiency he has. You get it? So what does it mean? It's trying to bring in a solution that is efficient enough to make sure he's not affected. He was a human being and is able to get what I've just been talking about, quality and quantity in his activities. So in that, designing a machine to do his work the way he does it. Now we have two characteristics that we need to look at. Before you used to say machines, of course you have to say machines are fast, they are accurate, you get it? But besides that, there's what we call machines. Let me ask you, do machines have feelings? They don't have feelings. Meaning, it is a disadvantage. At that time, it used to be what? It used to be a disadvantage that machines don't have what? Don't have feelings. Do machines have IQ? It's a question too. Do machines have IQ? Those are one of the characteristics we used to mention before. When you talk about a computer, I can say machines have no feelings, machines have no what? Have no IQ. But these days you cannot say that. And with that, that's why we are mentioning artificial intelligence, machine learning. All right? So in my discussion, I'm going to show you, of course, what I mean by AI, machine learning. We shall come to the understanding of machine learning in our daily lives. I'll look at the foundation of AI, then the application of AI and machine learning, also the carriers, since most of you, of course, your candidates in these areas. Then I also give you examples and also the powerful tools, and I will conclude with the avenues. As I've said, I'm going to be a little bit faster. So basically, of course, it's not only us, even other people have been thinking about this same field, also being disturbed, also looking at it in an analytical way to see how these technologies are taking us to the next level. Just to remind you once again, as a human being, we are saying we have IQ. We agree upon that human beings have what? Have IQ. And you have also what you call feelings. And of course, we're producing machines to do that for us with the same characteristics that we have as human beings. So we are transforming machines to do exactly what you're doing in that kind of satisfaction that is able to do my work, and I'm satisfied with what the machine is producing for me with that accuracy. But the question is, are you accurate as a human being? Members, are you accurate as a human being? Yes, you are, but not true. But your accuracy is somehow doubtable. You get it? Okay, members. Your accuracy is somehow doubtable. You yourself, you know that, okay, you are accurate. That's why you even monitor the work that you're doing. But at a certain level, you reach a certain level that you're doubting what you're doing. So you need something that should be deployed to clear out those doubts. And of course, now, machines were designed before, whereby first, the characteristics were size was a big factor, processing speed was a big factor, and of course, if you look at the trends from the generations, they've been changing. Now, at this moment, we are talking about something different. That yes, you have machines. They've been revolutionized to that level. We have them performing their work. We're able to work with them. But now, we need to put them at a certain level by at least we have that efficiency from the machines. And of course, because of that, but that's why we have what we call the intelligence part of it. We can make them learn from us. Because for us human beings, of course, we learn from our environments. We're even making machines also to learn from us as well. Because they're performing, they're exactly doing our work the way we're supposed to be doing it in that sense. So that we are able to be satisfied with the results. And of course, to achieve quality and what? Quantity in that same sense. So we were saying, some few quotes from Bill Gates himself, a man known as far as technology is concerned. What does he say? Machine, of course, it's a breakthrough in machine learning. And of course, it will be worth 10 Microsofts. If you hear such a quote from him, then it means it is a field that is given a lot of time. And of course, it's something that's being cooked that side. And of course, it is leading a change in the computations that we have. As well, look at Tony. What does he say? Machine learning is the next internet. It is also something that should also pinch your brain to think about this kind of computation. Then we're saying from Greg, machine learning is going to result in a real what? Revolution. And of course, we used to talk about hard disks. If you look at the little bit back, hard disks of 2 GB, 4 GB, you understand? And now you talk about cloud what? Isn't it so? Cloud storage, isn't it so? That is a very big change. And of course, it's about data. Now, coming to this level, of course, it is revolution to that level. Now look at Sanda Pichai. AI is the main tool behind the new age innovation and discoveries like driverless cars or disease detecting algorithms. And what does Barack Obama say? With this technology, generative AI is worth thinking about because it stretches our imaginations and it gets us to think about our core values and what? Issues of what? Choice. As you look at this, look at the machines, go back and say, no feelings, no IQ. Machines now, they have feelings. They also have what? IQ as well. And it's talking about algorithms, you get it? Now, look at Elon Musk. Artificial intelligence will be vastly smarter than any human and overtake us by what? 2025. I see that. And of course, we've been talking about data analytics, all right? Much of storages have been introduced. We have so many tools that have been brought around to bring us to this level. Now, when you talk about Jeff, we are now solving problems with machine learning and AI that were in the realm of science, of fiction for the last several decades. A lot of that has been introduced. Machines are learning from this. They're using it to do our work efficiently. And of course, they're using it to be intelligent enough to have IQ. And what I will even illustrate for you to show that machines also have feelings now. Because at this moment, you have machines that a robot, that if you smile, it will also do what? Smile at you back. All right? So, let us try to differentiate between the two. AI is trained final output machine, which mimics like a human what? Human brain. And what does it mean to you? You as a human being means these computers just performing us. Machines have been designed to act like us, to work like us. Meaning, they are the replica of us. We can say that. Why? Because we are the ones training these machines to act like us. And we have reached, or we are reaching a level of making them learn from us, do exactly what we're doing. And if you look at this way, we're saying machine learning is just a subset of AI, and of course it is a technique to achieve artificial intelligence. If you look at the examples, of course, we have the spam detection, or the other side of AI, we have what's called the Amazon Alexa. Then with the breakdowns of the industrial development and the great changes in the rated categories, of course, it has been evolving all along from that age. We started from mechanization, mechanical doing work, stream and power, and water power. Then from that age, we evolved from that into mass production with the use of electricity. And also evolved from that, we came to electronic and IT systems that are automated because we're experiencing here the automation bit of it from the mechanical section. Then we are now experiencing what we're referring to as artificial intelligence, whereby we are recognizing machines that really do work the way we are expecting with that high computation that we have intelligently. And of course, with the human being members, when you have what you can recognize as the brain, you're able to contemplate, you're able to reason, to judge between the activities. That's why before we used to say machines don't have IQ because they cannot reason around. But I'm saying now we cannot say that because machines have been given the intelligence, the act to think, to contemplate and choose what is right. Of which a human being, that was the only character that a human being was having. That you could say, make you separable from what? From machines. But now machines can also contemplate between elements and choose what is the best to work with. And of course, using those algorithms. And of course, we have what we call areas of AI and some dependencies. Quickly, as I said, I'm going to be a little bit faster. Search, logic, knowledge representation. We have what we call machine learning, planning, neural language processing, vision, robotics, as my colleague has been discussing about it. Then you have what we call expert systems, because now these days we are experiencing more of expert systems that are being utilized to make sure that at least we have efficient processing. So let us try to recognize what we mean by artificial intelligence, so that we're able to recognize that easily. So basically, to work with artificial intelligence, members, we are looking at machines, developing them whereby making computers that think. The automation of activities we associate with the human thinking, whereby it's able to decide, it's able to learn, right? And we also look at it as the art of creating machines that perform functions that require intelligence when performed by what? By people. Because of course, human beings, you have that intelligence, whereby at least if it has been incorporated with the machines, we are able to be satisfied with the result. And also we look at it at artificial intelligence as the study of mental faculties through the use of computational models. As I'm going to show you another foundation of AI, then you'll be able to understand the computational models. Then as well, we look at AI as the study of computation that make it possible to perceive, reason, and act the way human being. You happen to do what? You happen to look at things, that perception, you happen to reason, and with that reasoning, you're able to act accordingly. That's why you have that IQ. Then a field of study that seeks to explain and emulate intelligence behaviors in terms of computational processes. And of course, also take it to be as a branch of computer science that is concerned with automation of intelligent behaviors. Intelligent behaviors, of course, based on the IQ. And of course, artificial intelligence, machine learning, of course, we are trying to, it's a research based on, it's a study that makes machine have IQ in that sense, intelligently. Anything in computing science that we don't yet know how to properly do proper action. So these elements will help us understand artificial intelligence. We have systems that think like humans. We can have systems that think rationally, or we can have systems that act like what? Humans, or systems that act rationally. And with that, the thought and behaviors. So at the top, with the thoughts, think, then reason. Behavior, of course, act. Or act in a reasoning what? In a reasoning way. So with that, we're saying systems that act like humans, what happens? The art of creating machines that perform functions that require intelligence way, performed by what? By people, and of course that is by as well, and the study of how to make computers do things, act, which are also at the moment, people are better in that sense, according to Present. Then also, with actions like humans, you enter a room, for example, which has a computer terminal, and you have a fixed period of time to type what you want to enter into the terminal. Then what happens? They start the replies. Then the other end of the line is either a human being or a computer what? A computer system. So we're saying if it is a computer system, what happens? At the end of the period, you cannot reliably determine whether it is a system or a human. Then the system is deemed to be intelligent. So the Turing test approach, a human questioner cannot tell if there is a computer or a human is answering his what? His question. Of course, this will experience a lot of computations or a lot of services you cannot even recognize whether it's human beings responding to us or machines doing so. So here, via the teletype, for example, the remote communication, so the computer must have intelligently doing so, and in the intelligent behavior, what does it mean? To achieve a human level performance in all cognitive tasks. So, what do we mean by cognitive tasks? That natural language processing, basically for communication with human, knowledge representation, basically to store information effectively and efficiently, and also automated reasoning, meaning to retrieve or answer questions using the stored information, and also machine learning, meaning what? To adapt to new circumstances. The way human being, you can adapt to environments, even the machines have been given that character to do so based on the information they have. So, thinking, humans, as observed from inside, how do we know how humans think? This is what's called introspection, then also psychology. With introspection, that is contemplation, right? And of course, psychology, the way we perceive. And with that, we talk about cognitive science, whereby this is an exciting new effort to make computers think and also make machines with minds in the full and also literal sense. And of course, the automation of activities that we associate with human thinking, activities such as decision making, problem solving, and also learning. And of course, the learning bit of it is the ML we are talking about. Rationally, humans are not always rational at a certain level, members. And logic can't express anything here because of the uncertainty. So the logical approach is often not feasible in terms of computation times. And of course, always we need guidance. So the study of mental facilities through the use of computational models, that's why we need to make machines rational to always bridge that gap as far as the machine learning is concerned. And also we take the study of computations that make it possible to perceive, reason, and also act. So the incorporating that part of the foundation, then you have what with the rational behavior. Machines act rationally with reasoning. So doing the right thing, of course, is saying that which is expected to maximize the goal achievement, giving the available information, and giving answers to questions is acting. Whereby, for example, I don't care whether a system whereby it replicates human thought processes, make the same decisions as humans, or uses pure and logical reasoning. So with logic, of course, the only part of the rational agent, not all of the rationality. And of course, sometimes logic cannot reason a correct conclusion. And of course, with that, we're able to reach the conclusive part in a rational way. And of course, basically, we're covering more general difference, expressions of problems by compensating the incorrectly reasoned conclusions. So, with the foundation, we have what called the philosophy as far as artificial intelligence and machine learning is concerned. And with philosophy, of course, with this, the study of human intelligence began with no formal expression and initiated the idea of mind as a machine and also its internal operations. That is the intelligent bit of it. And of course, with mathematics, formalizing the three main areas of AI, computation, logic, and probability. What happens here leads to analysis of problems that can be computed, and also with the complexity of the theory, and also probability, contributes to the degree of belief to handle what you call uncertainty as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, and also decision theory, combining probability theory, and also the utility theory. Then, how do humans think and act? Basically, the study of humans reasoning and acting, providing or reasoning, the more reasoning mode of AI, strengthen the ideas, and also by humans and other animals being considered as information processing machines, because primarily, of course, it started as us being machines. Then with the engineering people, whereby for you, we just provided artifacts that make AI application possible, and also the power of computer makes computations of large and also difficult problems more easily, and also contributes to its own work to computer science, whereby including what you call time sharing, and also the linked list data types, and also other object-oriented programming structures. So there's also what called the control theory, and also the cybernetics, and this basically is how can artifacts operate under their own controls. And here basically we look at doing better for environments over time, based on an objective function and feedback from the environment. That's why we're talking about machine learning, and not limited only to linear systems, but also other problems like language, vision, and also planning. So linguistic, for understanding natural languages. That's why we have what we call natural language processing. Different approaches have been adopted from the linguistic work. That's why we have languages have applications that really incorporate local languages, formal languages, syntactic, and also semantic analysis, then also knowledge representation. So this is the foundation whereby artificial intelligence, based on machine learning, work with what we call neural networks, and also with deep learning. And of course, basically, just simply with that, not to waste a lot of time here, the word deep comes from the fact that the deep learning algorithms are trained, run on deep neural networks. And basically these ones are just neural networks with 3 or more hidden layers, as you can achieve that. So basically, members, we are vast in this too. We have traditional programming and also have what you call machine learning. With traditional programming, what we used to have data, programs, then we express what we call the output this side. You get it? But in machine learning, what is happening? First, you're experiencing the data, the output, then the program comes what? Comes last. That one shows you the intelligence. That's why, well, he has been talking about, my colleague, that programming is almost getting to this last one because of the tools that have been provided, that are even providing algorithms for most of the computation that we are thinking about. So, to make a relationship, machine learning allows computers to learn and infer from data. So, from the other intelligence bit of it, you get it? Where does the machine get its intelligence? By learning from you. All right? By learning from you. And of course, it basically looks at the data provided and is able to identify and make the correct decisions and decide from the learning environments. Then with machine learning members as the foundation, because we say the other one is a subset, artificial intelligence, the machine learning, and of course we're using data science methods and also sometimes big data, whereby it is, we call sometimes machine learning when instead of telling the computer to do something, or we allow the computer to come up with its own solutions, the result, based upon the data it's given. And of course, there are huge amounts of data integrated every day, and of course, previously impossible problems are now solvable. Companies are increasingly demanding quantitative solutions. That's why I began with 2 terms, quality and quantity. because we're looking at the efficiency of the computations we're having. And of course, members are saying every day we create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data, so much that 90% of the data in the world today has been created in the last 2 years alone. And only that can be used to make some changes in the results that we have as far as the algorithms that are being given. So machine learning is in our daily life labels. We can have it in spam filtering as an area. Web search is used a lot. Postal mail routing, fraud detection, movie recommendations. Most of you are using internet today. Most of you're experiencing them. Vehicle driver assistant, we're having them a lot. Web advertisement, you're using social media, all that is available. Social networks and also speech recognition. We recognize that. And of course, the interdisciplinary. We have data, domain knowledge, insight, and action. With it, machine learning is computer science plus statistics and mathematics. And the use of data to answer questions. Correct? The use of data to answer questions. So the critical thinking combined with the technical toolkit. And of course, that's how we make them think like us, mimic us, or act like us. To take an example, a machine learning example as predicting malaria. For example, Dr. Delta walks to a diagnosis patient with malaria. However, it takes a long time for her to see everyone. You get it? So what happens? Luckily, Dr. Delta has historical patients data about what factors to predict malaria, such as body temperature, travel history, age, medical history, and others. So in this case, what happens? This information is going to be used as an input in a machine learning algorithm to help her predict whether a new patient will have what? Because it's already known, already the information exists. So what happens? The algorithm learns from the past data, like a human would, and is able to make predictions about the future. So, with machine learning methods as a powerful tool, it can determine your credit rating based upon the cell phone usage. It can recognize your face in a photo, determine the topic of the piece of text, or recommend movies you like. You're always experiencing this on Facebook and others as recommendations. Applications of AI. Quickly, we have what's called automated customer support. Shortly, online shopping experience has been greatly enhanced by chatbots because of the following reasons, which I won't go through. Personalized shopping experience. Implementation of artificial intelligence makes it possible for online store to use the smallest piece of data. Healthcare, AI-enabled workflow assistants are aiding doctors free up their schedules, reducing time and cost by streaming processes and opening up new avenues for industry. Then also finance, whereby here automated advisors powered by AI, whereby they're capable of predicting the best portfolio or stock-based preferences by scanning the market data. Smart cars and drones, and we're saying with autonomous vehicles running on the roads, and also drones delivering the shipments. We have them as AIs. So travel and navigation, they're AI-enabled. Mapping, it scans the road information and utilizes algorithms to identify the optimal route to take. Then social media, which you're using a lot. Facebook uses advanced machine learning to do everything from serving audience to you and also recognize your face in a photo to target your users with advertising. smart home devices, connected devices of smartphone homes, provide the data, and also the AI learns from that data to perform certain tasks without human intervention. Creative arts. AI-powered technologies can help musicians create new art, new things. Then the last one, security and surveillance, whereby AI is making possible for humans to constantly monitor multiple channels with threats coming in from a huge number of cameras at the same time. And just to take an example, we have what called the Sophia, whereby is the first AI humanoid robot developed by Hong Kong-based company, Hanson Robotics, whereby it was Sophia introduced herself and spoke to the students appearing for their what? Their exam, as an example. That is that intelligence that was introduced there. And of course here, it was introduced and accepted by the Indian community. Then we have careers in AI and machine learning. We're saying there is a scope involving machines in gameplay, speech recognition, language detection, company vision, or computer vision, expert systems, robotics, and also many more. And of course, as per International Data Corporation, worldwide, AI Guide, spending on AI systems will accelerate over the next several years as organizations deploy AI as part of their digital transformation efforts and to remain competitive and also competitive in the digital art economy. And also the global spending on the AI is forecast to double over the next 4 years to that. So avenues, areas, hospital, AI is going to be applied there. Game playing, which is we are recognizing. Speech recognition, a lot has been identified that side. Then also understanding natural languages, which are also experiencing most of the tools that we have these days. Computer vision and cyber security, face recognition, specifically also we're doing multimedia. Then transport and also marketing and also advertisement. These are avenues where at least you could at least think and recognize the application of AI and machine learning. So basically, just to summarize with the avenues, AI covers many areas like medical diagnosis, stock, trading, robot control, scientific discovery, and others, and also have option to go in various top-level microchip manufacturer companies like Intel, and of course, for example, Indian Institute of Biology offers research in AI and also robotics, and some AI jobs include machine learning engineer, data scientist, business intelligence developer, research scientist, and also AI engineer. Then Intel offers a job for AI and robotics specialists. NASA is the best place to get job in AI, in space sciences, and also US tech companies are prepared to spend over $1 billion US by that, and of course, in the process of approaching AI talent from wherever they can get it, and also UK. That's all. So basically, quickly, these are the companies where AI and machine learning is being experienced. Neighbors, Amazon, most commonly doing so. We have all these companies applying so. So basically, the AI and machine learning drive growth of startups. The startup ecosystems are being nourished with the advent of technology and also has given rise to more evolved business processes. And of course, these days, members, logistics, accounts, marketing, and also team performance and HR have all been supported by AI technology. So skills for success in AI. Working with AI requires analytical thought process and also the ability to solve problems with cost-effective and also efficient solutions. and post professionals need technical skills to design, maintain, and also repair technology and also software programs. Then those interested in becoming AI professionals need education qualification based on foundation of math, technology, logic, and also engineering perspectives, and also what called cognitive science skills. So in conclusion, members, as an artificial intelligence aspirant, you have ample of job opportunities in this field, and artificial intelligence will transform the global economy, and also AI jobs are in high demand. And according to international cooperation, the number of AI jobs is expected to globally grow 16%. AI careers are future proof, and also meaning they are likely to survive well into the future, and also getting an education AI is challenging, also requires persistent and personal initiative. So I'll conclude by that. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nasser, for taking us through the future of AI and machine learning. I would say the future is now. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. So I want to bring our Dean, Dr. Kiagi, to bring this digital transformation journey to an end for today. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to all. I would like to deliver this vote of thanks for this wonderful day, where the presenters